if we extend by a few more minutes at the end.
Okay.
And I would like to share the biography of dear Pran Govind Prabhu on the link, so the devotees who are present here could kindly read through. It's a very inspiring biography. So just in the best interest of time, so we can receive more, to hear more from Prabhu at the moment. So I'll share that on the link, and we'll also share that on Facebook as well as on YouTube. And we'll also share Vishwarup Prabhu's bio on that. So please kindly go ahead, Pran Govind Prabhu. We'd love to hear from you on the Harinam Tattva. I suppose this is going to be the first session today, but I'll let you lead. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. First of all, I like to pay my humble obeisances to His Holiness Loknath Maharaj, the lotus feet of Sripad Radhanath Maharaj, and to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, and also to our Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet, and to Guru Parampara, all the way to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and all the way to Sri Radha Krishna. And Shri Ram, EKΑΔAŞީ Devi, was very, very auspicious day. So we're going to chant just few minutes. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Gurudeva Jaya Bhagavati Raja Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sita Raja Ram Patita Pavana Sitaram Jaya Sitaram 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 Jaya Sitaram Sitaram Jaya Hanuman Sitaram Jaya Sitaram Jaya Lakshmana Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Om Ajnanatirmirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamhayam Dadati Shapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Nitam Tam Saji Sadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi Paschatya Deshotari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna, dear devotees. First of all, I like to offer my grateful attitude to the host, Sripad Loknath Goswami Maharaj and his entire crew, especially Govind Charan Prabhu and the whole team, for organizing such a wonderful, the best welfare beneficial work for all the soul in this age. As Srila Prabhupada says that on this fasting EKΑΔAŞީ, Srila Prabhupada very nicely explained this in Nectar of Devotion, chapter 7, that I'm paraphrasing, that observing EKAΔAŞީ will free us from all kinds of reaction to sinful activities and advances in pious life. Then Prabhupada writes, the basic principle is not just to fast, but to increase one's faith and love for Krishna, Govinda. The real reason for observing fasting on EKADAŞΗ is to minimize the demand of the body. If you are not the body, let's put on a test today. Are you the body or not? You can check. The real reason, then Prabhupada writes, the real reason for observing fasting on EKADAŞΗ is to minimize the demand of the body. Very nice. Engage our time in the service of the Lord by chanting or performing similar service. The best thing to do on fasting days, especially EKADAŞΗ, Srila Prabhupada is stating on chapter 7, that one should remember the pastimes of Govinda and to hear his holy name constantly. So following Srila Prabhupada's sublime instruction, to please him, we have gathered here. So I feel very grateful to be here with all of you. And most of you all are senior to me, but you allow me to correct myself in your presence so that I'll be also fortunate following your all foot dust. So please pray and for me and give me some blessings. I'm begging to Sripad Loknath Maharaj and Vishwarup Prabhu, Govind Charan Prabhu, everybody. Please pray for me and bless me so I can say something that what I heard will be effective to purify our consciousness on this EKADAŞΗ day. So as I was speaking, to Harinam Gautam Prabhu, that Govinda Charan Prabhu, that we are going to have a few session. So today I'm beginning first one. It's just a brief description about Nama Tattva. But before that, I would like to say something that without Srila Prabhupada, it would be very difficult to understand the glory of holy name and purpose of life. Even the Rupa Goswami Path gave everything, but there was something missing relevant to my life where I am today and Rupa Goswami Path's teaching. I could not relate until I read it again and again, the preface and introduction of Nectar of Devotion. It makes so clear. So yes, Rupa Goswami Path is supervising the ISKCON society as Prabhupada mentioned in the beginning of the book. But at the same time, I would say Prabhupada actually connected us what Rupa Goswami Path came to give us, the purpose of life. What is the purpose of living? His holy name is alive or dead? If you think it's a letter format, then probably dead. But holy name is live. So we are also live. We are speaking. We have a feeling. Then what is the purpose of that life? So Prabhupada writes very scientifically. He says, the basic principle, I'm paraphrasing, the basic principle of living condition is that we have a general propensity to love someone. No one can live without loving someone. That is not possible. And it's not only Prabhupada's word. I also tested with few professor and our friend here. They are outsider, not devotees. So it was easy. That yes, everybody agrees. You have to live. In order to live, you have to love someone. You have to feel loved and express your love for someone. Then Prabhupada gives a very practical view on that, that in a primary stage, a child, I saw when my child was born, within a moment, he started sucking breast milk. His world is just the mother's breast milk and him, nothing else. So the primary stage, the child loves his mother, then start loving father, then his brothers, sisters. Then as he grow up, he begins to love his family, society, community, country, nation, even the whole human society. But the loving propensity is not satisfied, even by loving all human society. That loving propensity remains imperfectly fulfilled until we know who is the Supreme Beloved is. Love can become all-embracing only when we understand that Krishna is the Supreme Beloved. Krishna is the root of all creation. By embracing him, one successfully embraces everyone. As pouring water on the root of a tree successfully nourishes every leaf and branches. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that nectar of devotion is a science, literature will teach us of loving every one of the living entities perfectly by the easy method of loving Krishna. In a morning walk, Srila Prabhupada said, without understanding this book, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, nobody will understand what Krishna consciousness is. I was like very surprised to hear Prabhupada says, nobody can understand without understanding this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And I see why, from my angle of looking at it, it's so complete. Then Srila Prabhupada gives even a further details that what are the happiness in this world, whether India or America, what are the happiness that people get? What is the sense gratification? They have to understand there is two defects in the sense gratification. Srila Prabhupada points out, one defect is that it runs out. It's never fresh. And Prabhupada gave the name, he did not even translate. He said, Chapala Sukha and Bhoga Tega. Why people switches their pleasure-seeking place or source? Because they get tired of it. Even food, you eat pizza, you cannot eat whole life pizza. You want to have some gulab jamun or something. You want to change because it's tiring. And so they're always looking for new. And whatever they're enjoying, they have to work so hard for it. By the time they enjoy the three defects in the material existence, you are either shortage of time or shortage of money or shortage of health. Have enough money, you need to go to school and start money, but you have a good health, but you don't know when you grow up, say married man, you may have money coming in, but you don't have time. You're busy making money. And then when you are old, your health is almost finished. You have money at that time when you are old. So there's always something lacking. But spiritual world, Srila Prabhupada explains in the introduction, the spiritual happiness means it never ends. It is ever refreshed. You can eat the same pizza, same holy name, but it will have a new flavor. When you say Hare Krishna, it is not the same flavor you tasted 5 minutes back or a million years back. It's a new flavor. And the next minute you are chanting Hare Krishna, it is different flavor. You never tasted experience. This is spiritual world, the holy name. So Prabhupada explains that how one can actually get connected to this very simple way. First thing they have to do, they need to begin a sadhana bhakti, and to achieve, why? Because they are looking for that blissful, forever lasting, that love. So you need pure eternal love, but to achieve pure love, you need to awaken bhava, which is all along in your heart in a dormant state. And to awaken bhava, you need to do sadhana. So first we have a goal, we need pure love, but to become a recipient of that love, we have to awaken bhava. But to awaken bhava, we have to do sadhana. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told this to Sarvam Bhattacharya, the easiest way in this age, sadhana, is to chant Hare Krishna. So as long as we have a clear understanding why we are chanting, I'm going to rephrase, third time I'm going to repeat. We need to take full shelter of holy name to awaken our bhava. And when that bhava will be awakened, then naturally it will take us to be a recipient of prema, pure love. Then our journey will be over. Whose name we are chanting? That's the question first. Well, first we are thinking that who is the holy name? Who is Harinam Prabhu? So I'm sure you all heard that sloka very nicely. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all the acharyas explain this wonderful identity of the Harinam Prabhu. Nama Chintamani Krishna's Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Suddha Nitya Mukta Abhinna Tat Namanamino. That the Harinam Prabhu is the holy name of Krishna. It's transcendentally blissful. It bestows all spiritual benediction. Why? Because it is Krishna himself. He is the reservoir of all pleasure. Krishna's name is complete. It is the form of all transcendental mellows. It is not a material name under any condition. It is no less powerful than Krishna himself. Since Krishna's name is not contaminated by the material qualities or modes, there is no question of its being involved with Maya. It is eternally aloof, above, beyond Maya. Krishna's name is always liberated and spiritual. It is never conditioned by the laws of material nature. Why Prabhupada repeated sometime in the translation of that. And the sloka also, it gives that indication. Because right now I'm looking the audience in the Zoom. How am I looking? With the shelter of Maya. Maya creates the perception by Sattva-gun. The senses to see the eye or to hear, ear, is a product of Rajagun. And the sense object, the computer, the body of each person, it's product of Tamagun. So three modes are playing here. Now if we can connect that this is Krishna's energy, Maya, through these three Sattva, Raja, Tama, if I can connect with Krishna and then I have an intention to serve him with a proper devotional attitude, then it will be spiritualized and it will be purifying. Otherwise it will stay, because holy name is above the three modes. In order to connect, there has to be a devotional connection with a devotional attitude. Humility is required. The service attitude also required. Now we are going to chant Hari Kirtan. What is Hari? Hari means, if someone think like what is Hari means, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained, Hari sabde nana artha dui mukkhatama sarva amangala hare prema diya hare mana. Madhya chapter 24, 59 text. That Hari, the word Hari, Harinam, the word Hari means many explanation, many meanings. But two meanings are most prominent, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. Nana artha, many meanings, but two meanings are the most prominent, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu emphasized on those two meanings. What are those? Hari sabde nana artha dui mukkhatama sarva amangala hare. All inauspicious, all unwanted, anything anybody never wanted, those things will be destroyed, dissipate. This is wonderful. all the unwanted. What is that suffering in this world? In one sense, you can say suffering like birth, death, old age. Yes, that is also there. But actually, bottom line of suffering, what is the suffering? Suffering is only one thing, that what we really want, each of us, we want eternity, we want blissful. What we really want, we don't get in the material world. And what we don't want, we are being forced to go through. This is the real suffering. So here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained, Hari Sabde Nana Artha Dui Mukhatama Sarva Amangala Hare. The word Hari, Hari, just by saying Hari, 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 all those unwanted things will disappear. Now you may say, Prabhu, we are saying Hari, 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 but I don't see that all the inauspicious thing gone. Well, who is perceiving? Is the body perceiving or the mind is perceiving? Who is perceiving that name, Hari? Who is uttering it? This is important. It is neither, not the mind, not the body. It should be the soul who has that devotional attitude. If the soul has a devotional attitude, and soul actually with humility try to chant this Hari name, yes, you will experience this. Now question is, how do we come to that? Well, first of all, you remember how Arjuna was bewildered in Bhagavad Gita, and he asked Krishna, should I become a Kshatriya who will protect the Kshatriya dharma, means killing the aggressors. They are here in the battlefield. This is before the battle began. Even the Arjuna blown the conch shell. Can you imagine you are in Mayapur and they are blown the conch shell, Pujari, and he is about to open the Gaur Purnima day, the altar of Panchatattva. There's thousands of devotees are ready. Then all of a sudden, he's never opening the curtain. He came down from the altar. He's talking to a stranger who is not participating to have darshan. And time passes by, you will be wondering why Pujari is talking to, who is this man? Arjuna is talking to someone who is not participating in the war. That is Krishna. Krishna says, I'm not going to join in the war. So Krishna is not joining in the war yet. Arjuna blown the conch shell, but Arjuna is spending time on talking with Krishna and he's not ready to fight. Everybody else was surprised also. So there Arjuna says, so I have a question, why I'm bewildered. There are many questions, 16 questions total asked in Bhagavad Gita and 574 verses spoken by Krishna just to answer those 16 questions. So very interestingly, one question was asked by Arjuna, that am I supposed to act? I was born as a Kshatriya, should I kill those aggressor who has joined? Or you are addressing me again and again. I am a son of Kunti. Even in that sloka, two identity of Arjuna. You're saying I'm the descendant of Bharata, I'm the descendant of Kuru dynasty, so I should protect all this family man. Should I protect the family man or should I kill the aggressor? Anybody knows what Krishna answered? He said, none of this. You don't act as a Kshatriya, you don't act as a Kurunandana, even though I address both. Then he gave the answer on the next verse in Bhagavad Gita. Dehinasmin jata dehe komaram jovanam jara. Arjuna, you are neither Kshatriya nor descendant of Kshatriya. You are soul, belong to the super soul, me. So when we chant, we have to come to this identity called fundamental identity. When we chant, we have to serve as a servant. Then you will experience this result. And if you don't have a faith, you will going to commit offense, orthobad. So we have to chant the holy name suggested here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as a fundamental identity. So what about the other two identity we have, Arjuna had? Those are functional identity. I am a grihastha. I am a man. I am a woman. I am Mataji. I am Prabhuji. I am this, that, so many identity. But those are not fundamental identity. The chanter should be fundamental identity. Those are functional identity. Functional identity should be under fundamental identity. Then our chanting will definitely take us to the result that promises. Time is ticking too. Very quick. So on the Namatattva, this is my first day. We are going to do a few series, 4 to 5 classes on Namatattva. But today, just to give some brief idea, question may arise, why Krishna's name is the only most recommended name? Why not other names? There are few reasons. One reason is, in Bhagavatam, there are 4 things explained. One is that Munaya sadhu prishtavam bhavadvi lokamangalam jat krita Krishna samprasna jayatma suprasiddhati. Krishna is such a personality, such a wonderful name, that just by any question, any related or relevant or any name related to that Krishna, the inquirer and the person who give the answer, or the chanter, hearer, it will completely satisfy them. Jayatma suprasiddhati. Why? Because it pleases the Lord also. So the Lord will be pleased, and the person who chant will be also completely satisfied. Then Jiva Goswami Pad says very unique things. He said, Bhajaniya sarva sadguna visishta. Why we should chant Krishna's name? He says, Krishna's qualities are so attractive, so enchanting, so endearing, so incredibly inspiring, that even a demon, even a non-believer, if they could actually see this, they will immediately surrender, become a slave to that name of Krishna. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in Harinam Chintamani, I'm just giving you a little glimpse how sweetly he explained. What is this holy name? He says, Nama Mahima, Smriti kahe, Helaya Sraddhaya Namalay, Krishna Tare Kripa Kori, Hayena Sadai, Namera Sadrisha Gen, Nahiko Nirmal, Namera Sadrisha Brata, Nahiko Prabal, Namera Sadrisha Dhyan, Nahito Jagate, Namera Sadrisha Fall, Nahikuna Mate, Namera Sadrisha Te, Kono Rupa Harai, Namera Sadrisha Sama, Kobu Nahi Hai, Namera Sadrisha Punna Nahi Hai, Sangsare, Namera Sadrisha Goti Na Dekhi Vitare. The translation, I'm just going to paraphrase because this is my language, those beautiful poetic format. This is coming from Rupa Goswami Pad's Shikshastakam, actually following Shikshastakam. The Smritis, Puranas glorify the holy name of Krishna, stating that if one should chant the name either in negligence or in faith, Krishna will show that person great mercy. Now please remember, there is no knowledge as pure as the holy name. This is second. Third, there is no vow as powerful as the holy name. Fourth, there is no meditation more effective than the holy name. 5, nor is there any fruit greater than attained by the name. 6, there is no greater renunciation than the name. Now, some of the Prabhus and mothers will think, well, why we don't need renunciation. We are talking about Krishna Prem and all that. Why renunciation? Renunciation is everybody's needed. What is the renunciation? The impression that you have accumulated in this material world. What impression you got? Birth, death, old age, disease, crematory, that's all. You have to let go. Everybody has to let go. Then the next result, there is no greater peace than the holy name. Number 8, in this world, there is no greater pious activity than taking the name. Number 9, nor is there any quicker progress. If you think by worshipping deity or by doing some other devotional process, you will get quickly, impossible. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says only holy name is the quickest. The name, holy name is the highest liberation. Holy name is the highest freedom. Holy name is the highest destination. Holy name is the highest peace. Holy name is the point of no more searching. Once you get the taste of holy name, you will not search anything else. You will not even go anywhere. Of course, your journey will be within, inside, not outside. The holy name is the highest devotion. The holy name is the purest inclination of each living entity. The holy name is the highest love. Holy name is the direct remembrance of the Lord. The holy name is the cause of all causes. The holy name is the supreme Lord. The holy name is the most worshipable. The holy name is a form of Guru to bring one to the Lord. It is stated that 1,000 Vishnu's name equal to 1 Ram name, and 3 Ram name or 3,000 Vishnu's name equal to 1 name of Krishna. The Vedas says that the holy name is purely spiritual, and thus they constantly glorify the name. This is wonderful, isn't it? Am I missing anything? No. There's nothing you can think that is holy name is not going to give. Now you may say, well, Prabhu, I don't experience when I'm chanting. Well, first of all, you have to situate yourself as a fundamental identity with that devotional attitude, not a functional identity. I'm not a brahmachari, sannyasi, or grihastha, or this, that. Those are functional. Those are important. But they have to come under fundamental identity. I'm a servant of Srila Prabhupada, who is a servant of eternal spiritual master, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like this. These are called fundamental identity. And the devotional attitude with humility is the key to start chanting. And when we keep on chanting, repeating, Vedanta Sutra, I was reading Vedanta Sutra, one part it says, because our fallen condition, once chant one name is not enough. Even though holy name says that one chanting will destroy enough sin that you cannot even accumulate in an entire journey of material world. That is true. But what name we are talking? It is not Namaparad or Namabhas. It's pure name. Yes, Namabhas will destroy. But Namabhas' destination is the border of Vaikuntha, not in Vaikuntha. Namabhas will never take you to Vaikuntha, Bhaktivinoda Thakur boldly declared. It will take up to the border. You know, border? You still need a visa to go in to that domain, spiritual domain. Means Namabhas chanting will liberate you, but you cannot enter into the spiritual domain without pure name. Because our consciousness is impure, although process is pure, perfect, so it is not as effective. So we need to repeat, keep on repeating, keep on serving the holy name, keep on serving enthusiastically. And if you can put some feeling with it, some love, then instantly you're going to get. Sometimes we have chanting driven by fear, but until the pure stage, we must remind Krishna and his name are one. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur also writes that pure name, one day we'll discuss more because of the time. Today, one definition of pure name. What is pure name? Pure name means which is devoid of nama parad, namabhas, and bevadhan. Three things. Pure name means devoid of those three. So it is not an automatic, it is a intentional. You have to make commitment and effort with consciously aware that you are servant serving to the master under Guru's guidance. This is required. Because the attitude will decide our real progress. Very important. Prabhupada said that. Our attitude will decide our real progress, our real design of life. Our fulfillment comes always from the inner side. If one can catch up that thread, then he can go and get things of that higher spiritual quality. We may appreciate the beautiful figure, style, movement, and intellectual delivery of the spiritual master, Prabhupada. So many other things may be appreciable. But what should be the highest focal point for our realization? What should be our highest aim for which we will eliminate everything else? This is important. Progress means, please remember, progress means, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, elimination and acceptance. Our spiritual life must be always a dynamic thing. Otherwise, we shall be dead. Progress means acceptance in elimination. Scientists also say, I have a friend here, he mentioned that in the theory of natural selection, survival of the fittest, isn't? Even Gorachan knows. In the school they teach. Nature is selecting some and eliminating others. Life is a dynamic. We all are dynamic. Soul means dynamic. Holy name is live. It's not dead word. Soul is not dead either. We're live. We are living in a dynamic world when we chant. Everywhere we find acceptance and elimination. That is progress. And our life must be progressive, not static. Now, next session we'll discuss about the selection of pure name and secondary name and all these topics. Today I wanted to also mention, because when I came little early, Vishnu Prabhu was very nicely explaining about Ram Katha, Ram Lila, and I'll tell a Ram Lila. I don't know if you heard that Ram Lila. It is not in Ramayana. I don't know which Shastra it is, but Prabhupada says this. And Prabhupada is our authority, same as Shastra, no doubt, but he didn't say which Shastra it was from. So I'll mention that too. So before I end, the main 4 things we should remember. What is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching? First, he says 4 things. Everybody can remember. Prabhupada quote that verse. Aradha Bhagavan Brajesha Tanaya Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramma Kachi Dupasana Brajabadhu Variganaya Kalpita. First, the goal. Always you should have your forehead, you seeing it. Your goal is pure love of God. Second, object of love. Who is the object of love? Brajananandan, Sri Krishna, who lives in Vrindavan, not Krishna in Mathura or Dwarka or somewhere else. Krishna in Vrindavan. Very, very particularly in that verse. And Prabhupada even said that verse, even though we see this was spoken by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur or Srinath Chakravarti, but Prabhupada said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. So we take it, okay, Mahaprabhu said this verse. Because Prabhupada said that. So 4 things. First is goal, pure love of Godhead. Second is object of love, Sri Krishna who reside in Vrindavan, not Krishna who left from Vrindavan. Third, the shining example of that love are the gopis of Vrindavan. Fourth, the guidelines of developing that love is Srimad Bhagavatam. And what Srimad Bhagavatam explains in 18,000 verses ended with Nama Sankirtanam Jasya Sarva Papa Pranasanam Pranama Dukkha Samannas Tam Namami Harim Param. Glorify about the holy name. Glorify holy name. So those who have taken shelter of the holy name, they are the most fortunate. What is the nature of Krishna consciousness? If you think from that verse, we see nothing can stand in competition with it. Not even so-called devotion for the demigods or faith in creeds, like this world has Christianity, Islam, or others. All other conception of theism have to retire, leaving the field to Krishna conception. So I end with this, that no aggressor can stand in the fight with Krishna consciousness. The absolute sweet beauty, sweetness, mercy, affection, divine love. That's all what it is. Self-dissipation to compensate others with one's own energy, generosity ultimately conquers everyone. It is more rewarding to give than to take divine love. Means die to live. Not to live for yourself, but to live for others. The most generous form of life, self-forgetfulness to the extreme, is found in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching, or Prabhupada call it Krishna consciousness. Krishna, so the ending sentence is Krishna consciousness is so beautiful that one who develops it loses his own identification and existence also. He becomes totally self-forgetful. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote a whole song. Maybe next session we'll sing that song. It's a beautiful song. What will holy name do to you? Such a charm is there. Who will stand to fight against Krishna? Everyone who comes to fight against him is disarmed. If in any way Krishna enters the heart of each of us, there can be no other consequence but that he takes possession of everything. Such a benevolent, generous, and sweet person is Krishna, reality the beautiful. That is Krishna. Next session also we'll discuss when we chant, is the chanting means the Krishna from inside coming out or the holy name outside going in. So I'll end with these 4 points, and I'll mention this one story because of the time sensitive. And maybe some of you heard it. I'm sure Sripad Loknath Maharaj knows that. This is in the memory tape of Tripurari Maharaj. So Srila Prabhupada went in the Vaikuntha garden, Ranganath temple in Vrindavan, morning walk. As Prabhupada was walking, there was a Ram Bhakta on the other side. And Ram Bhakta, you know, they chant Sitaram, 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 and they chant whole day on the beat, some kind of, just like we chant. So as Prabhupada was walking by, he was crossing, so Prabhupada stopped him. He said, Hare Krishna. And this gentleman, Ram Bhakta, says, Ram, Ram. And Prabhupada laughed, and he kept on walking. And when he went other side, and then again they meet, and Prabhupada again stopped him. He said, Hare Krishna. And this Ram Bhakta said, Ram, Ram. Then Prabhupada said, very interesting pastime, I never heard. He said, after Lord Krishna, when Radharani left from the Ras Leela, she came because she went away. She wanted to establish Krishna's highest happiness, that if everything goes through her, because she is the one who knows how to serve Krishna, please him completely. But the Ras Leela, everybody joined, but they have no idea that Radharani's position yet, fully. Only few. Like we Gauriya, we appreciate, we understand by the mercy of divine personalities, the position of Srimati Radhika. Say dware, no, what is this? Say prema dware Radha ek, say prema dware Shri Radhika ekali amar madhurjo asade sakali. Chaitanya Charitamrita chapter 4 explains that Krishna Chandra Bhagavan came to taste 3 things. One was, the second point was that the sweetness in him that she tasting through her love. All Krishna's sweetness, his beauty, his prema madhuri, rupa madhuri, lila madhuri, the sweetness of his loving relationship, his love, his beautiful form and the flute, all these things actually tasted. Guess who? Only one person, Srimati Radharani. And all those unlimited, you can say, gopis and the manjaris, how they get it? Through her. Do they know it? No. On the Sarat Ras Leela, everybody joined. From Alachua, I mean, those who are qualified. From New Orleans, I see some New Orleans devotee there. From wherever in the world, they can join, but they have to come to acceptance of Srimati Radharani's glorious position. So that's why Radharani left. So Krishna also left. So they followed the gopis. They saw 2 footprints. Then they saw there's 2 sets of footprints. First was 1, then 2 sets. Then they saw again 1. So they thought, wow, who is this girl? The Brajendra Nandan left all of us just for her. She must be the most glorious. They worship Krishna. So they are very curious, everybody is searching. Srila Prabhupada says, when Krishna was with Srimati Radharani alone in that Kammaban, he sat down with Srimati Radharani. Guess who came there? Lord Ramachandra. With Arati tray. I guess Lord Ramachandra knew it, or I don't know how the Arati tray came. And Lord Ramchandra worship Radha Krishna. And Prabhupada says, yes, that part people don't know. The Shastra says that the Radha Krishna is the object of Lord Ram's Ishtadev. Lord Ram also worshipped who? Not to himself. When Krishna meditated, he meditated on himself. In Dwarka, Krishna meditated every day. We know. Bhagavatam says us. But when Ram meditated, he doesn't meditate on him. He meditated on Radha Krishna. This is the most confidential. So unless we glorify Radha Krishna, Lord Ram will not be happy by hearing his own Leela only. But when we glorify Radha Krishna, even Lord Ram is very happy. Because that's his object of worship. So I'll end here. If any question or reflection or comment or anything, we have 2 minutes. Is that okay, Prabhu? Govinda Charan Prabhu?
Absolutely, please. If the participants have any questions for us, they're most welcome to do so. We can either send a message on the chat or you could unmute and speak as well. But at the onset, it was an absolutely powerful session. My apologies, I had to step out in between, just coordinating a few things in the back end.
That's okay. So you will please let me know when is the next session for me. So I'll maybe ahead, I'll let them know. Some devotees, so they can just keep following them.
Absolutely. We could either keep it at the same time if you feel this is more comfortable for you, or we can shift it a little, maybe by an hour before or after, whichever works good for you. So we can discuss that.
We'll discuss that.
For sure. Yeah. But this is a very, very interesting pastime.
Thank you.
I haven't heard that. Wow. That's beautiful. Thank you. And definitely remember those 4 points at the end that you mentioned.
Thank you so much.